Fall in oil prices. Are oil prices falling a good thing or not? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna find out. Oil prices have been dropping worldwide. It has fallen from $100 per barrel to $30 since 2014, which is a big 70% drop. So, why do oil prices fall and what contributed to this? We're going to break it down into two aspects as to why oil prices fall. One is the increase in supply and two, the decrease in demand. Firstly, there's an increase in the number of sellers like Canada, Iraq, and the US. US's supply has doubled domestically due to the advancement of technology. The adoption of fracking technology allows them to produce more oil more efficiently using the same amount of time, therefore increasing their supply. With the US self-sufficient in oil, they no longer import oil from other countries. Other countries are then forced to find other markets to sell their oil to. To stay competitive in these markets, the producers have to constantly lower their prices in order to attract customers to buy their oil. This increase in supply leads to the external factor, which is OPEC's insignificance in the oil market. OPEC is a cartel which works together to maximize profits in the oil they export. In the past, they used to be the biggest suppliers and were thus able to control prices tightly by regulating their output, for example, by telling each other to reduce supply if prices were too low. Now with the emergence of new big suppliers, OPEC has lesser grip over oil supplies, thus oil prices are spiraling into chaos. For the decrease in demand, it is due to weak economic activity in places like Europe and China. Weak economic activity means that economic growth is slow, therefore the country produces lesser goods and services, hence they require lesser oil as they do not need as much as before. Lesser output equals to lesser expenditure on oil, therefore the demand decreases. The decrease in demand is also due to the change in taste and preferences of consumers towards oil. For example, they may prefer to use greener alternatives like biofuels or electricity for transport rather than oil, which may be due to the increased awareness of climate change and global warming. Therefore, demand decreases. The increase of supply and decrease of demand is illustrated in the demand and supply graph. The increase of supply is shown by the supply curve moving right, while the decrease of demand is shown by the demand curve moving left. Due to this, a new intersection of curves is found, where prices have hence fallen. So how does the fall in oil affect the economy? Well, countries importing oil will be able to buy more for a cheaper price. However, countries exporting oil will have to sell it for a cheaper price, leading them to suffer immense losses. Companies and industries that buy oil for goods and services like electricity can spend lesser and hence decrease their cost of production. This can be represented by how, for example, assuming the cost of producing 1 unit of electricity requires 1 barrel of oil and equates to $4. Hence, when oil prices fall, the cost of producing 1 unit of electricity will fall as well. So, what are the consequences of the fall in oil prices on Singapore? In the past, when oil prices were soaring, Singapore Airlines signed a hedging contract which locked oil prices then to prevent future increased oil prices to affect them. Now that oil prices have fallen drastically, SIA is unable to purchase oil at a cheaper price as they are tied to the contract, hence incurring losses. Another example is the losses suffered by Keppel. Keppel is a manufacturing company that had manufactured oil rigs for a Brazilian company. This Brazilian company filed for bankruptcy protection due to losses from the oil price drop. With the company unable to pay for the oil rigs, Keppel has suffered major losses as they cannot sell their oil rigs indirectly due to the fall in oil prices. In conclusion, for the fall in oil prices in Singapore, in the short run, the cost will outweigh its benefits due to the losses in businesses like Keppel and Singapore Airlines. In the long run, however, it will benefit Singapore as, for example, SIA's contracts will be over and they will then be able to buy cheaper oil, thus able to sell air tickets at a cheaper price to attract more customers. In general, businesses that suffer losses will be able to recuperate and start earning from the cheap oil. Thanks for watching!
Created using Powtoon.